Hello friends, in this video we are going to talk about the some loop statements. Basically in this particular video we are going to talk about break statements. So let's start our video on the break statement. These are the topics that we will be covering in this video. So first we are going to talk about that what does break statement do, and next we'll have discussion on how and where to use the break statements, and finally to have a better hand on the break statement we are going to have some coding examples in the Visual Studio IDE. So let's start our video and stay tuned with me. Here comes the break statement. You may feel that the break statement is not so important, but as the concept of the break statement is small in the C programming, but still it is very important to know for the every programmer. So suppose you are a programmer, then this break statement makes life of programmer very easy. So this is the motivation to learn the break statement. So let's start our topic for today. So what is break statement? So break statement actually terminates or exits the loop. That means the main task of the break statement is to terminate or exit the loop. So suppose you have some while loop in your code running, then if you want to exit that while loop at some point of the time, then you can use the break statement. That means, in other words, you can also say that if you want to exit the loop in between, then you should use the break statement. That means the break statement ends the loop immediately when it is encountered. So suppose the while loop is running and you have a break statement inside the while loop, and when the code encounters the break statement, then it will immediately exit the loop and it will no more the loop will be running. Okay, so to have a better understanding, we are going to have an explanation part. So this is the explanation part with the small piece of code here. So this is the code which is showing the while loop and some condition and some statement one and also break statement. So this is the simple syntax to use the break statement. That means if you want to use the break statement inside the loop, then you need to write the break word and then put semicolon at the end. So now let's understand the code, that how the break statement works. Okay, so we'll have two scenarios. One scenario that we'll consider that here we have break statement written, and the second scenario we are going to remove this break statement. Okay, so let's first consider the second scenario. That means assume that there is no break statement here, then how while loop will be executed. Okay, so the compiler will come here, it will check the condition, and if the condition is found to be true, then it will come inside the loop and it will execute the statement one. Whatever there is in this statement one, it will be executed. Okay, then it will as there is no break statement after the statement one, so it will again go to the initial position. Again it will check the condition. Again it will exit the execute the statement one. Again it will go to initial position, again check the condition, again execute the statement one. So it will go on and on until this condition has been found to be false. So this is how the while loop will be running if we are not having a break statement. Now what is the difference when we have break statement here? So suppose we have break statement here also. Now let's see the working of the while loop here. Compiler will come here, it will check the condition. If the condition is found to be true, then it will enter the inside the while loop and then it will execute the statement one. Then as soon as it encounters the break statement, what will happen? As soon as it encounters the break statement, then it will immediately exit the loop. That means it will come outside the loop. Instead of going upward, it will exit the loop. So this is the main difference when we have enter the break statement here. That means if the condition is found to be true, then it will enter in the while loop and it will execute the statement one, and then it will encounter the break statement and it will exit the loop soon. Okay, that means this while loop will be executed only one time if this condition is found to be true. If this condition is not true, then this while loop will not be executed because it will automatically come out from here. Okay, so this is the main difference and the explanation part for the break statement. Now let's consider so this was the scenario when there is only one loop. Okay, So we can talk about nested loops also. So let's see that what happened in case of nested loops. Okay, so case of multiple loops or nested loops, what happened is that in case of the multiple loops, if you are using break statement, then it will terminate or exit the nearest loop. Either it may be while loop or a for loop. Okay, we're going to see some coding examples, okay, in Visual Studio IDE. So let's read once more. In case of the multiple loops or the nested loops, what break statement will do, that it terminates or exits the nearest loop. That means the recent loop. Okay, so to have a better understanding, let's move on to the Visual Studio IDE and we'll see some coding examples. Okay, so here is the pseudo code to understand the concept of the break statement, as we have discussed in these slides also, that suppose we have one loop here. So here will be some text expression, then here will be some condition, then here we are going to write some statements, or you can even leave it blank. If this condition to exit the loop has been satisfied or it has been found to be true, then it will come inside the if block and it will see the break statement here, and then it will move out from the while loop. Okay, not only from if block, it will come also from while loop. Okay, so make sure here that you understand that break statement are used to terminate or exit the loop, not the if and else blocks. So here it will exit the while loop. Okay, now here is the example by showing the for loop here. So just as of now, just understand that this is the simple scenario to initialize the for loop. So here we have for loop, and here we have if block in which we have condition to exit the loop, and if the condition to exit the loop is found to be true, then it will enter the break statement, and after entering into the break statement, what it will do, it will exit the what, not the if block only, but the for loop, because this is loop. If is not a loop, for is a loop, while is a loop, do while is a loop. So break statement are used to exit the loops, not the if else blocks. But here in this scenario, automatically here if block has been exited. Okay, so make sure that you understand that this break statement is used to exit the loops, okay, or terminate the loop. Now we are going to see some multiple loops cases. So here we have two for loops, or you can say that nested for loops here. So say we have one for loop as int I equals to 0 and some condition written here, and then some increment and decrement part here. Then again we have second for loop here, which has initialized with the value j equals to I plus 1. Something is written here. So main focus here is to know about the functioning of the break statement. So here you should put effort. Okay, so try to understand this part. You're going to understand every part. Okay, so this is the nested for loop here, this is the if part here. Okay, now this is the condition to exit the loop. So if this condition is satisfied here, okay, if this condition is satisfied here, then it will enter the break statement. It will found the break statement. Then what it will do, it will exit the nearest loop. What is the nearest loop? This is the nearest loop. Okay, so this for loop is the nearest loop. Okay, so it will exit this for loop. That means it will come outside of this loop and it will come to this part. That means it will print still I am in this loop. That means it has exited this for loop, but still it is inside this loop. Okay, say that this is first for loop and this is second for loop. Okay, now this break statement, what it will do for this, the nearest for loop is this second for loop, which is this. Okay, so this break statement will exit this for loop. That means it will come outside from here. Okay, then still it will be in the first for loop. Then again, if you will use this break statement, then what it will do, it will again find the nearest for loop, which is nothing but the first for loop here. Okay, so it will exit this loop also. Okay, so now I am outside the first for loop also. Here at this point I was only outside the second for loop, not from the first for loop. Okay, so this is the concept behind the break statement, that how we can use the break statement. Now to understand or to have a better understanding, let's have some examples on the break statement. So we are going to solve a problem here. So what is the problem statement? So here is the problem statement. It is saying that write a C program such that it stops scanning the value from the user until the user enters the number -1. So this question says that you should write a C program such that you are asking the value of A again and again until the user enters the value of a as -1. That means you should exit this scanning process until the user enters the -1 value. Okay, so this is the basic code I have written till now. So this is the hashtag include stdio.h, which is the header file, and this is the int main function here. I have declared till now one variable named a equals to 0, and then I have entered some masses here, which is to enter the value of a, and I have scanned the value of a also. Now I am going to use the for loop to solve this problem. So how I am going to use, so let's say I have for int I have initialized it with 0. Okay, so what should be my condition here? So I am going to write a condition such that the for loop keep running and running. Okay, so for that, let's say that I have entered a condition that I is greater or equals to 0. So if you closely look this condition, then you will find that you are not going to exit this for loop at any point of time. That means it will run to infinite loop. So to make this finite, or to solve this problem, we are going to first check that if a is equals to -1 or not. If it is -1, if it is -1, okay, so what do? So printf, okay, exit, okay, and I will give new character here, and then I will do break statement, because from here onwards I don't want the loop to run. Okay, else if this block is not correct, then what I will write in the else part, okay, I will write in the else part that print f. Again I am going to ask the value for it, okay, value of a, and then new line character here, and then I will scan my value here, which is %e and %e. Okay, so I have scanned the value again. Okay, and then finally I will say everything went fine and return 0. Return 0. Okay, so this is the code to solve this problem. So let's understand the code first. I have for loop here, which has been initialized with I equals to 0, and I have condition here such that this for loop never ends. Okay, and I have increment part here. Okay, now as here I have scanned the one value of a, then I am going to check that if that value is -1 itself or not. So if this is equal to -1, then I am going to print that exit, and then I am going to break this. So what will happen if we are using break statement? So as soon it will found the value to be -1, then it will come to the if part, it will print exit, and it will break. That means it will exit the nearest for loop. What is the nearest for loop? So here, as we have only single for loop, so it will exit this for loop and it will come to the return 0 part. But if the value of a is not equals to 0, as the question demands, we need to scan the value again and again. So in the else part, it will come to the else part here, and it will print and ask the user to enter the value of a again, and it will scan the value of a, and again it will go on to the for loop here, and again checks the condition and if block, and it will run until it doesn't find the value of a to be -1. So this is the code. So let's save the code first, and we are going to just have a new terminal from here, and we'll execute our code. Okay, so I'm going to have a new terminal here. I'm going to say gcc tools 22.1.c. So it has compiled successfully. Now I'm going to go run this code a.exe. So just wait for the answer here. So let's say I have entered a value -1 at the initial stage zone. So you can see that it has written exit here. That means the loop has been exited. Now let's again run one more time. I'm going to enter value, some random value, let's say 4. So you can see it has not exited the code. Again it is asking for the value of a. So I will again put -3, 2, 5, 54, and if again I put -1, then again it will print exit and it will exit the loop. So this is how the question has been solved. I hope you have understood this whole process of a break statement, and if you have understood, then please like this video, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. So that's it for this video. Thank you and Jai Hind.